Today on Public Eye News, the Michigan Attorney General has released a warning to be aware of scam emails containing her name, and later, Alex Navalny, a staunch opponent to Putin's presidency, has died in Russian prison.
Luke Niddle will have your sports update, and Nolan Schaefer will have your weather forecast for the next couple days. I'm Jackson Spencer.
And I'm Marin Parks, and this is Public Eye News. As tax season nears its end for the year and federal refunds begin to be sent out, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel reissued an IRS scam alert yesterday to warn Michigan residents to be on the lookout for scam phone calls and emails concerning their tax returns. This statement follows a recent report received by Nessel's consumer protection team of a scam email claiming to be from Nessel herself and includes information on how to spot a potential scammer. Nessel's statement wishes to remind citizens that government agencies will never ask for personal or financial information over phone or email, and that the IRS will never threaten arrest, demand immediate payment, refuse a chance to appeal or dispute a payment, or demand payments through gift cards, wire transfer, or prepaid cards. If you believe you have been scammed, you can contact the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Team toll-free at 877-765-8388. And down in Madison, Wisconsin, a constitutional amendment aiming to limit diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts across the state's government and school systems was approved yesterday by the Wisconsin Assembly. The amendment both aims to prohibit both discrimination against and preferential treatment of any person based on their race, sex, or national origin, and argues for hiring and admissions decisions to be based on merit, fairness, and equality, the counterterm to the DEI coined by conservatives. The amendment was passed through the Assembly yesterday in a straight party line vote of 62-35 and will still need to pass through a Senate vote this year, a full legislative vote next session, and a statewide vote following the previous two before it could be added to Wisconsin's Constitution. The amendment is backed by conservative law firm Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty and is opposed by the American Civil Liberties Union of Wisconsin and the National Association of Social Workers.
President Joe Biden visited East Palestine, Ohio after an invite from the town's mayor. Biden visited as the Environmental Protection Agency was finishing cleanup paid for by the train company Norfolk Southern. Biden is facing criticism from Republicans for not visiting sooner. Some lingering tensions remain in the community. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre stated, "The president has always said that when the time is right and when it made sense for him to go, he would go, and that's what he is doing." In response to a question that Biden has no concern about drinking the water in the town where chemicals and hazardous waste spread, she noted the EPA Administrator Michael Regan drank water in an earlier visit. In Wisconsin, a Republican proposal to legalize medical marijuana was shut down. There will still be a public hearing to build support for the proposal next session, but it won't happen until the hearing has been adjourned for this year, said Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. This drew opposition for being too conservative in limiting who could have access to medical marijuana and how it would be distributed, while others faulted it for not going far enough. The restrictive bill would limit medical marijuana to severely ill people and would allow it to be distributed at just 5 state-run dispensaries. At a news conference, Vos said, "We see that the Senate wants to have a more liberal version than the one that we're willing to pass. The votes remain to pass the original Assembly version, but it won't come up for a vote before the Assembly ends its session for the year next week." Wisconsin has some of the country's highest rates of drunk driving, with nearly 26%, a quarter of drivers admitting to getting behind the wheel while under the influence. But at the same time, Wisconsin has some of the most lenient drunk driving laws in the United States. Ellie Nakamoto has more.
In Wisconsin, every 2 hours, somebody's life is affected by drunk driving.
It's only a matter of time when you're out on the road before this is going to affect you or somebody that you love, and this is entirely preventable.
According to lawmakers in 2022, about a third of all traffic-related deaths in the state were due to impaired driving, and more than 23,000 Wisconsin drivers were convicted of an OWI offense.
Over 770,000 Wisconsin drivers have at least one OWI. That's about 1 in 5 drivers across our state.
Plus, officials say those first-timers are estimated to have driven impaired at least 80 times before they were caught.
If we are not going to be stopping preventable deaths, what are we doing here?
So how do we lower those numbers? Well, this is one state lawmaker's suggestion.
The device will analyze the sample and provide the end user with the results.
This is an ignition interlock device, or an IID.
Interlocks have prevented over 410,000 attempts to drive drunk, with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or greater in Wisconsin.
Right now in Wisconsin, they're put in cars owned by drivers who have been convicted of 2 OWIs with BAC levels of 0.15 or higher. All you do is blow, and once you pass, your car will start.
The camera has a full view of the entire cab. Anybody testing other than the driver is recorded.
This new legislation would put them inside cars for all drivers convicted of an alcohol-related OWI.
Take a bus, take a Lyft, take an Uber, find another way home.
In Milwaukee, Ellie Nakamoto-White, CBS 58 News.
And don't touch that dial, because after this short break, Nolan will be back with your weather update, and I'll have your national news. Stay tuned.
Good evening, and welcome to Washington Week with The Atlantic.
Get the best context on the week's top political news from experienced journalists, led by moderator Jeffrey Goldberg.
The trial could still be going on or could start as he's president?
That could happen.
And we're looking now at possibly even a trial of the president's son.
Many people still are unclear about Biden's agenda.
Washington Week with The Atlantic, every Friday on PBS and streaming.
Hi, welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Nolan Schaefer with your weather today. First, we'll be taking a look at our school sky cam, and as you can see, we've got some snow back, and it is currently snowing. Last week we didn't see a bunch of snow. During this week we've got it back. And looking at our current weather conditions across the UP, currently in Houghton we have a winter advisory warning, so watch out for that snow, and we have temperatures of 19 degrees. In Ironwood we have temperatures of 9 degrees and some clouds. Same as Iron Mountain, 21 degrees though. In Menominee, it is partly cloudy with a temperature of 27 degrees. In Escanaba, it is 24, and we are also seeing some snow. In Manistique, it is 24 and cloudy. In Sault Ste. Marie, it is 20 and cloudy, and then in the lovely Marquette is 19 and snowing. And we have winds out of the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour, and we currently have a barometric pressure of 30.11 inches and falling. And looking forward to tonight, we can expect some more snow with a low of 11 and winds out of the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. And looking forward to tomorrow, we'll have some mostly cloudy skies with a high of 26 and a low of 23, and winds out of the west-southwest at 14 miles per hour. And looking forward to this weekend and the beginning of this week. Sunday, we have a high of 27, a low of 16 with some partly cloudy skies. Monday, hopefully we'll see a little sun, but most not likely. High of 31, a low of 21. And then on Tuesday, best chance for some sun with a high of 38, a low of 31. And that is all I have for the weather today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much for that weather update. I am certainly feeling the cold again, and I'm looking forward to those rising temperatures in the next coming days. So, into our national news, over in Russia, anti-Kremlin protester and President Vladimir Putin's most prominent political rival, Alexei Navalny, died earlier today at age 47 in the Arctic penal colony where he was serving a 19-year sentence. This death, the lack of information surrounding it, and it being announced less than a month before an election that will ensure another 6 years of Putin's reign, rekindled the outrage amongst those who oppose the Kremlin regime. But it is unlikely to spark large-scale protests due to the fractured nature of opposing political parties. The official statement on Navalny's death from the Russian Federal Penitentiary Service is that Navalny fell ill after a walk and lost consciousness in the penal colony of Karp, about 1,200 miles north of Moscow. An ambulance was called, but Navalny could not be revived. As of now, the official cause of death is being established. And as election season approaches and political campaigning continues, so too do the 4 court cases concerning former President Donald Trump, which total 91 felony counts. Here's a look at where each case stands in the judicial process. The first case concerns the indictments of former president in June and July for his mishandling of top-secret documents and request for the deletion of security footage concerning the FBI raid of his Mar-a-Lago estate. A trial date of May 20th, 2024 has been set, but may be pushed back. The second case concerns Trump's indictment in August for working to overturn the 2020 election results and inciting a riot at the Capitol on January 6th. A trial was previously set for March 4th, but has been indefinitely postponed. The third trial, set to go to court on March 25th, concerns allegations of hush money paid in 2016 to cover up possible extramarital affairs. And finally, an indictment from August concerning racketeering allegations in Georgia has no trial date set as of now. And attorney Fani Willis returns to the witness stand this morning. President Trump is seeking to disqualify her from the state's election interference case due to a romantic relationship with a member of her team. Meanwhile, Trump was in a Manhattan courtroom yesterday where the judge denied his motion to dismiss charges. Naomi Rushim has more.
It is a lie. Heated testimony as Fulton County DA Fani Willis was grilled over her personal relationship with a lead prosecutor in the state's election interference case against former President Donald Trump.
These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial.
Co-defendant Michael Roman claims Willis's previous relationship with prosecutor Nathan Wade is a financial conflict of interest and argues she should be removed from the case. Willis and Wade admitted to beginning a relationship after he was hired in November 2021. The pair took lavish trips while Willis's office paid Wade $650,000 for his work on the case. Willis said she reimbursed Wade for costs of the trips.
I don't need anything from a man. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
Willis's former friend testified that the relationship began earlier than November 2021.
You have no doubt that their romantic relationship was in effect from 2019 until the last time you spoke with her?
No doubt.
Trump's Georgia case could be further delayed if the judge decides to disqualify and remove Willis. Meanwhile, a Manhattan criminal trial against the former president is set to begin March 25th.
It's a disgraceful situation, actually.
In that case, Trump is accused of falsifying business records tied to alleged hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. He has pleaded not guilty.
We'll be right back with Luke Niddle's sports breakdown after this short break. Stay tuned.
Coming up this week on High School Bowl, we kick off our second round, our Cerebral 16, with two amazing matches. In the first, East meets West as Ironwood takes on Pickford. Hi, I'm Jim Koski, and then in our second matchup, it's a battle of the Southern UP as West Iron County goes up against Manistee. That's coming up this week, the Cerebral 16 on High School Bowl.
To Public Eye Sports, I'm your host Luke Niddle, and I'll be taking you through our Friday breakdown. Starting off on the ice, the Detroit Red Wings will travel to Calgary to take on the Flames tomorrow afternoon. The Wings are looking to end a three-game slide on the road while also staying afloat in the fight for a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, currently standing at 5th in the Atlantic Division at 27-20-6. It's nearly the same story for the Flames as they stand at 25-24-5 in the Western Conference and 6th in the Pacific Division. Detroit is 12-12-1 on the road, while Calgary is also 12-12-1 at home. It will be the second matchup this season between these two, with Detroit taking care of business in Game 1, extinguishing the Flames 6-2. Moving over to some college hoops, Michigan State took care of business Wednesday night against Penn State, winning 80-72 in a game that had Penn State playing fetch to try and catch up with the Spartans, with Sparty leading 45-31 at the half. Malik Hall led the Spartan train against the Nittany Lions, putting up a career-high 29 points and 10 boards. MSU has found its stride in the midseason, winning 7 of their last 9, rebounding after an abysmal 4-4 start to the season. Michigan State currently sits at 16-9 overall and will travel to Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow. For the Nittany Lions, they will try and recoup against Nebraska in a road game this weekend. And bringing it home to some skiing, the NMU Alpine team is set to host the USC-SA Midwest Regional Championship at Marquette Mountain this weekend. Teams will take to the slopes with the top 2 teams in each gender qualifying for the national championship in Lake Placid, New York. Led by defending national champion Reagan Ollie and All-Americans Aaron Grislak, Bradley Seaborg, and Ainsley Kirk. The Cats look to cap off a dominant regular season with a 3rd consecutive regional championship. The Cats' biggest competition are the St. Olaf Ols and the University of Wisconsin Badgers, who have rounded out the podium places. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have for today. Back to the desk.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. I'm Marin Parks.
I'm Jackson Spencer.
And we will see you next week. Thank you.
This program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.